Okay, if I look at all of the little buttons right now, Sheri, it looks like episode 38, can you believe it, 38, of Conversations is now live.
Wow, 38.
Can you believe it? 38.
Wow. And then we're in June. Did you know that?
Oh, I saw that. You know how I know it's June? My grandson just turned 17 yesterday.
Oh, wow. We're 17. You're not old enough.
17. That's what I told him.
You are not old enough for a 17-year-old grandkid.
That's what I told him. That's what I told my daughter. I said, hey, not yet. And when I told that to my granddaughter once, I said, I'm not giving permission to this. She said, Grandma, you don't have any say in the matter. Okay.
Wow, she's definitely your granddaughter. That sounds just like a TerryAnn phrase. You don't have any say in the matter.
Oh, anyway, welcome everyone. Welcome. We are so excited you are here to join us for Conversations with Sheri and TerryAnn. I am TerryAnn Porter, life coach, TA. It's time to defeat those lies of negative self-talk by looking at each lie with a new perspective. Opening your eyes to those unseen possibilities. Pathways will now reveal in front of you onto which you can choose to proceed in truth. My co-host is...
Good morning. Happy June. What the heck, right? For those of you that don't know me, I am Sheri Berger, and I am the owner of Here to There Consulting. And we educate business owners with those tools to balance life, business, and finances so that you can have growth, leadership, and success and move from here to there. So we help create those paths to move you from here to there. Welcome, welcome. I am so glad to see people here today. And it looks like we have sun in Kansas City. I didn't even know we could have that. I think that might be success. I thought we were talking about success.
That is a definite success right now. Let's celebrate that. You know, speaking of success, I was just checking the dictionary. The dictionary describes success as the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Well, that's what the dictionary says. Sheri, how would you define success?
Success, right? You have to have an aim or a focus. So I guess you have to have a goal, right? Is what you're saying?
Well, now that's what the description is. What do you think about it? Do you think you need one?
I think you ought to have one, right? To have success. But success is, yesterday I ran into a business associate and I'm having one of these days. I know I made this post on our wall, but I was having one of these days when you feel overwhelmed. You're trying to do your family stuff, run your business. And I've been running back and forth a lot to Flanagan, Illinois. So that's been a little crazy, but I want to do that. And it's important to me at this time in my life. But you get crazy, right? And they said, you know, you have a great life. And I think having a great life and balance in all of that, not at all times, right? You can't at all times, is success. So I was like, you're right. I do have a great life. And you're talking about June, I have a huge celebration coming up on Friday. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to leave Saturday to go to St. Louis. But on Friday, I have been married to love of my life for 27 years. That's a really big success. And people are like, well, how do you stay married 27 years? And I think you always have those goals and intentionality of making your marriage or your family or your business a priority, right? So you make it a priority. And I always tell people, don't get married if you don't want to find out what's wrong with you. Because getting married is the best way to have to start working on yourself. And then if you really don't want to work on yourself, don't become a parent. Oh my gosh, that's another, right? So I know some people say success is business, and it is. But like in my business, our mission is to help you create the life and business that you deserve. To me, that is success. So anyway, that's just a little bit what I have to say about success. Oh, thank you, Grace. Grace is so sweet. But what do you think is success, Grace? We would love to hear from you.
I just thought of something you just said, Sheri. You said that you deserve. How about instead of deserve, I like the word desire.
Desire, yeah. Success in life, like she said. But the thing is, I feel like everybody deserves to have the life in business or life in work that they deserve. And I believe even God believes that, right? But we get so caught up in, maybe deserve is not a good word, like you just said, though, because if we really got what we deserved, I don't want that. Right. So maybe it is desire, like you're saying. But more importantly, we get so caught up that we forget that we have a choice.
Ooh.
Right? So we can choose wisely of what kind of life, what kind of career, job. I mean, a lot of people, I'm a business coach, and a lot of people go into business because they want to have more time for their family or friends, or and then I find out that the business owns them and owns their time and becomes their whole purpose. Is that what you really went into business for? So I guess that's why I'm always about creating the life and business, I guess, that you desire, like you're saying. And that's why that's our mission for my business that I do. Because it breaks my heart when I see that people are losing what success really means to them. Right? So life is so short. We only have this much time. How are you going to live yours successfully?
What is a recent success that you are celebrating? Okay, you got your marriage. Is there another success that stands out that to you, even if nobody else thinks it's is a success, let me get the right words out here, to you, it is a success?
Well, I'm really impressed with that. We've been doing this, for instance, for 38 episodes. I've brought all my business online, and I've also realized that I'm better off helping a few and not many, right? So some of those things that I've learned in the business, but there's a goal right now that I'm working on, and I didn't know it was another hat that I'm actually learning to do. And that's be a grandma. And you're like, what the heck? You just be a grandma. No, really, you don't. It's a work-life balance again. So how do my son becomes a dad, right? And so my whole relationship with him, and oh my gosh, everybody tells you how much you love your grandson. Until you meet them, you just don't know, right? And so I know you say, oh, I have to figure out how to be a parent. But even how do I intentionally be a good grandma? And so I've only been doing this for 10 weeks, right? I mean, I'm not. And I thought that's an interesting new challenge or new hat that I'm wearing. And to be successful in that. And what does that mean to me, right? And what does that mean to Simon? And what does that mean for my son, right? Because you want to be supportive in all of that.
Right.
Right. And all the things. I mean, some people have had those mother-in-laws that, oh my goodness, they can be a little much. I had in-laws that could be a little much. And I don't want to talk about my in-laws. I never had a mother-in-law because my husband, I know it's strange, but my husband does not have a mom. That's just not what. He had a biological mom, but he was adopted by a single dad. So, it was it was a different dynamics. But I'm saying, what kind of, even when you take on being a mother-in-law, what kind of mother-in-law do I want to be to my two daughter-in-laws that I have? So sometimes when we look at those little changes or big changes in our life, like going online is a huge change for my business. So anyway, those are some of the things that I'm working on, trying to be more successful. What did Grace just say? Maybe success is really success balance in life and business. Yeah, and that's really what success is for me. And that's really what I want people to have.
How do you know that you have achieved that balance, that it's not lopsided? How do you know that you have achieved it?
That is an ongoing balance, is it not? It's an ongoing mission. It's an ongoing self-awareness to realize that you need to be aware of that.
Self-awareness.
And we all go through different seasons in our life. So our balance changes.
One thing that affects my balance, I don't know if you have this, I feel like, it's just right, just even keel. And one person, all it takes is one, makes a comment that I feel is a put down to me. And all of a sudden the balance goes shoo. Because of one person. I am guilty of letting one person destroy my feeling of success. How do we avoid that?
I've had that happen to me before, and I think that is great when my friend Gerald, I know, I talk about him a lot, my second dad, that used to be when I would call him because somebody told me and I needed somebody else to counteract what somebody else is telling me and test it, right? Now, maybe we should test it against scriptures, really where we should go, right? Long-term thing. I get that. But if we have those friends that we can pick up the phone and let them know that you're having now Gerald was funny because he would laugh he would laugh about it. See, TerryAnn, what would you tell Allison? Because these guys like to tell her. What would you tell her?
Oh, Allison, catch me with my own words. How dare you? Yes, I do. It is sometimes self-talk, and sometimes it is having that friend say to you, sometimes we have to stop and look at 5 people just gave you a compliment.
Yep.
One person didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Which direction did you choose? I hate that word, but it's what you do. Which one did you choose to hold on to?
Mm-hmm.
The other question I started asking is, would you go to that person for advice?
Yep.
If you won't go to that person for advice, you don't take their criticism.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I have to give those little self-talks to myself. And remind myself of, you know what? That is a success. And if that person doesn't like it, if that person doesn't like me, doesn't like what I've done, they don't have to participate. That's the interesting to learn over time is, you know what? Not everybody's going to like you. And I know that's hard to believe. There are some people who don't like me. Anyway, but it's okay. It doesn't make me a bad person if this person over here doesn't like me. It just means that we don't jive together. So I'll go hang out with Sheri. I'll go hang out with Allison. They like me.
Well, and knowing those people that are going to love you enough to, right, if they did say something like, maybe you should have done, they're going to do it in love, right? If they're giving you any kind of feedback, it'll be love. And so to know those people. But anyway, this is funny because we were just talking about this. My husband claims I collect people. I love people. I thought everybody should just love Sheri Berger, and that's not how life works. And then so I used to try to be less Sheri Berger because then they'll like me. But you know what? They still don't like me, TerryAnn, even when I try not to really be who I am. So then over time, I've learned only person I can be is Sheri Berger. And oh my gosh, that's so much easier just to be yourself. I don't even know. And then, like I said, people have called me charismatic, other things. And I'm like, well, I guess that's who Sheri Berger is. And I'm not trying to be rude in who I am, but that's who I am. So not everybody's going to like you. But remember, my husband, the last couple of years, has been telling me, everybody's not your friend. I'm like, yes, they are. And he's like, no, we have associates, acquaintances, and then we have friends, Sheri. So I think when you're taking advice or people are telling you something, are you my friend that loves me and supports me no matter what? And are you telling me this for my benefit? Or you are you associate or acquaintances? Then maybe, I hate to say it, I can't believe people would be mean, but some people just want to be mean.
Right.
Or they're jealous, or they just don't like you. Like you said, I don't understand, TerryAnn. Everybody should like me, but whatever. Some people just don't like me. And so because they don't like me, they're going to say something, I don't know, to pop my bubble. I don't know what they're trying to do. But why are we trying to figure that out when we need to go to that's why I will pick up the phone and call those people that love me, support me, care about me. And sometimes they're like, why are you even going down that rabbit hole? Pam says, go ahead.
Yeah, I like, because I do think success is a personal feeling. It's more, it's not necessarily the material items, it's that personal. And I, like Pam says, to me, success is achieved every time I do my best, regardless of the outcome. Hey, this situation didn't work. I gave my best. And I'm going to celebrate that I gave my best. That's all I can do. And I think that's important, because I think it's funny. We haven't even touched it. We've been talking for 15 minutes, and something that's not even come up is, to some people, success is the wow house. I know some people who are doing everything they can. They want that wow house or a particular kind of a car. And to me, that's not success. To me, I look at that and say, oh, how much debt are you in?
You mean
But
keeping up with the Joneses is not success?
You what?
Keeping up with the Joneses doesn't mean I'm successful.
Keeping up with the Joneses means that I'm deeper and deeper in debt. And when we go through a recession or a job loss or something, the Joneses get to keep on going because they're not having the difficulties I am. And to keep up with them, I've now lost everything.
But even without going into debt, of course, I'm a financial coach too, so get me on this one. But even without going into debt, what I decide to do with my money could be not buying a fancy car, but maybe going on vacation with my family. Or so when you're looking at what other people are doing, what are their choices? Their choices are different than yours. Remember, we get to choose. Like Kevin and I never had car payments. We still don't have car payments, but because we paid private school tuition for 4 children. That was our choice though, right? And you can come back with, I would never do that with my kids. That's fine. That's your choice. Because we live in the United States, we have these choices. And I only sent my kids till 8th grade, and only I can say, but I did. Just like right now, my daughter-in-law, people are judging if you nurse or you give a baby a bottle, if you send your kid to private school or you don't. What do you want to do? And so when you look at the Joneses next door and they have a yacht and they have a motorhome and they have what other stuff besides maybe they're going in debt, but maybe they decided that they weren't going to send their kids to private school, or they weren't going to go on that vacation, or they weren't. So we forget to look at and you can't figure it out because you're not them. Right. So go be the best version of you and be successful. And I liked what she said, to be successful is achieving every time I do, what I struggle, but more importantly, what did you learn in that experience? Okay, let me ask you this. TerryAnn and I do Toastmasters. When can you fail in Toastmasters? You can fail every time. It's a good place to fail. But you can fail successfully. Even when we fail, what do we say? What did you learn from that? What did you learn? None of it is ever failing. It's always about experiences. It's about learning. It's about what could we do different. We never say we failed, because you don't fail, because it's the safest place, as you just said, to fail. But did you fail? We always fail forward in Toastmasters. Perspective. And all your Toastmasters family, if you ever try to say you're failing, they're going to look at you and go, you didn't fail. You did this and you learned. So it's sometimes a perspective. Celebrate the learning experiences that is success. When you know you have learned something from trying and giving your best effort, it's never a failure. That's exactly what Toastmasters teaches us, do they not, TerryAnn? Yes. I always say with Toastmasters, get on my big Toastmasters kick. And I think that you should feel this way when you hang out with your friends. Toastmasters, when you come to a meeting, you ought to leave better than you felt when you got there. And if you don't, that was not the right experience. But what if you did that with the people you hung out with? I hope when you go hang out with me, which, by the way, we need to have a cup of coffee, TerryAnn. Yes, but I hope when you hang out with me, when you walk away, you feel better than you came. Even if you weren't having a bad day, it's not about that. Did I add value? Did I energize you? Did I make you feel? So if you pay attention to who you're hanging out with, and when you walk away, how you feel, you'll start figuring out, as people like to call it nowadays, your tribe. Who do you want to be, right? So if that person always is putting you down and making you feel not successful, then they don't want you to be successful. I actually was coaching somebody the other day, and her 2 adult children just don't believe that she can build her business. And it's not because they're trying to be negative. They're trying to be realistic. Just go get a real job, Mom. Why are you being an entrepreneur? right? And as business owners, I think we get that a lot. But how about your own grown children, right? Telling you that. She's like, that's so hard. And I'm like, yeah, but they don't understand. And they're doing it out of love. And they're not trying to be mean. And they are not toxic people. But it's realizing that they don't understand. And you can be a better example and show them. What did Grace put on here?
What is a failure is not trying. What is success is failing because you're learning, so you are a success. I just love that everybody's pointing out here how success is an internal feeling. It's an action on your part.
Because that's so true. But you know how many times we sit there and we go, I don't want to do that. What if I fail? We have an e-summit coming up, don't we? July 9th and 10th. And I was going to be on an e-summit in March, and then a pandemic happened and a lot of stuff happened. So then I was like, well, I was going to speak on an e-summit. I want to speak on an e-summit. I could just ask somebody else to speak on an e-summit. Then I go, or I could do it. But wait, I've never done an e-summit. I don't even know what I'm doing. What if I fail? And now I'm doing an e-summit. But I also went to a friend of mine. I'm just going to let you know. I went to a dear friend of mine, and I said, well, I was thinking about doing this, but I don't even know what I'm doing. And how could I ever put an e-summit together? And yeah, me. I'm saying this. The lady that does training and coaching for a living. I know. I was saying that. My friend TerryAnn goes, really? I've never really done an e-summit either. But I've done behind the scenes, and I've done this and that, and I could help you. And you can do it. So why aren't you doing it? So I went to the right friend, and all we were doing was having coffee. You got to watch out when TerryAnn and I have coffee. Things like this happen. I don't know. So now we have an e-summit coming up on the 9th and 10th, and we have a bunch of people that know what they're doing, helping us put it all together. But that was scary. Jumping to be on these videos was scary, right, TerryAnn? That was another.
Oh, that was very scary.
Well, on the e-summit, that's way out of my comfort zone. And yeah, we will invite everybody, and we're going to be putting flyers out here to invite everybody. Since I got on this trance, but it was more about I got out of my comfort zone. So now we have 7 phenomenal speakers on this e-summit. It's going to be about creating the life and business that you love. It's called Purposeful Joy. And it's going to be a Friday night on the 9th. And then
July.
Yeah, July 9th and 10th. And I want to invite everybody to that. But it was all because I got out of the way of me and my fear. And I got teams that people believed in me, like TerryAnn. TerryAnn's co-hosting. We have all these great people that came together because what did we start doing? Moving forward. And God provided all the resources along the way.
Ooh, effort equals experience. This is interesting.
I always like
experience. Success plus learning. And failure is never part of the equation.
Okay, I think, Pam, you need to put that up in your office. I think you need to post that one.
Wow. I love this discussion, and I do love how, because as soon as I hear the word success, I do automatically start to think of the material things. And I just love being around people who say, those material things aren't where success is. It's personal, it's internal, and even if somebody else doesn't see it in you, that's okay. Have your tribe, make it personal, and keep going forward. It's an action. It is an action. You have to do something. We had to get online in order to have 38 episodes. We couldn't have 38 episodes if we never turned the camera on to begin with. So I love that. And I love the way the discussion's going.
So you're shocked, TerryAnn, that you and I would have our tribe or audience here that's not materialistic?
Oh, no, I'm not shocked at that. I guess my mind immediately thought, when we first started talking about the word success, I started thinking about recently, I don't remember who it was, but somebody was saying, I still want my wow house. That's things funny. Like that were creeping into my head.
Like-minded people hang out with like-minded people.
Oh, well, I like the minds of all the people today. The people that come and
We
join
have
us.
a
I
lot
like
of
this.
like-minded thing. And Grace is saying that she loves this discussion. So I'm saying on your tombstone, when you pass on, you're going to say, I wish I had more. What did you say? Wow houses. I wish I had more. Wow. Is that what's going to be on your tombstone? I mean, my mission in life is to make a difference in others. My business is all about making a difference in people's businesses by helping them create life and business that they desire, as you're saying, because that's my life mission. My life mission is not see how many cars I can collect and how many houses. Now, that might be yours, and that's okay. But what is your life mission? Is it to leave a legacy? Is it to, what is it? And make sure that's what you're focusing on for your success. That's my tip for today.
Don't let anyone take away your feeling of success.
And Pam says, mine will say, I lived a genius life.
Genuine life. A genuine life.
Yeah. And so if that's what it is, you should have, you know how we have mission and value and vision for our business? You need that for your life as well.
Ooh.
So
I set out to write a vision statement for my life one day. And they kept telling me was it a mission? And they kept saying, no, it's, but nobody ever tell me what the difference was. So I just held on to it anyway and said, okay, this is mine. A success again.
You disagree with what success, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what success looks for you is not the same as it looks for me, and why do you want others to decide what success looks for you?
So even though if what you are doing does not look like success to me, I really have no say in how you feel about it. And I should keep my mouth shut, in other words.
No, you ought to encourage that person to become
encouraging
the way they want to be successful.
So that it's
another
their
one
success,
of my life,
not mine.
Another one of my life missions, it doesn't have to be yours, is to lead more people to Christ, because I feel that's my purpose here on earth. Right now, you might say, well, that's broad, but it is. But that doesn't mean that I have to go headbang people with a baseball bat and say, if you don't believe in God, you're going to go to hell. That's not how I'm going to lead others to Christ. So I try every day to be more Christ-like so that I can do that. But then again, that's not even about me. That's about the Holy Spirit in me being there, you know what I mean, at the right time. But me not getting in the way of that, if that makes sense.
So you are living a life that shows that you are personally comfortable and satisfied with your life, and that is success. I like that description.
So do I. I guess you came up with that description.
I like that description. And you know what? Speaking of what does it mean to you? Because as we talked, everybody has a different thought of what success is. We're all kind of like-minded in this. I like this, though. But everybody does have a different idea of what is success for them. So next week, what is self-esteem to you? What does the term self-esteem mean to you? So you've got a whole week to think about it and come back and join in the conversation with Sheri and TerryAnn.
That sounds awesome. And if you're in Kansas City, go enjoy the sunshine. We don't know when it's going to disappear. You guys go make it a great day. Bye, guys.
Bye. See you next week.